zodibana shona malanga shona lashoni langa lashoni langa shona washoni langa sesizodibana sodibana nebazuke Tanzania shona malanga shona washoni langa shona malanga shona shona malanga sesizodibana sodibana nebazuke Angola sesizodibana sodibana shona malanga shona shona malanga shona malanga shona lashoni langa sesizodibana sodibana nebazuke ehlathini sesizodibana sodibana nebazuke ehlathini shona malanga shona shona malanga shona malanga shona shona malanga sesizodibana sodibana nebazuke ehlathini nebazuke
Amandla, Amandla, Amandla. Long live the ANC, long live. Long live the ANC, long live. Long live the ANC, long live. Amandla, Amandla. Away two, away two, away two. Thank you very much. Amandla, Amandla, Amandla. Long live the ANC, long live. Comrades, we are now formally constituting the Provincial Conference of the African National Congress in KwaZulu-Natal. I do want to welcome all of you comrades who are here, members of the National Executive Committee, who are led by the convener of NEC employees in KwaZulu-Natal, Comrade Noktawe Mafu, the Provincial Executive Committee of the African National Congress, led by the Provincial Chairperson, Comrade Sihle Zikalala, the Alliance leadership, the leadership of KwaZulu-Natal, the SACP, the leadership of KwaZulu-Natal, the leagues of the ANC, the ANC Youth League, the ANC Women's League, and the ANC Veterans League. Comrades, in welcoming you, I do want to say that we want to apologize to comrades and many others, including our guests, who are also warmly welcome to this provincial conference of the ANC, who have been here from as early as 9 o'clock in the morning today. But I do want to give an assurance to the provincial conference of the ANC that as we were relocating to this site, we have understood that more than 90%, if not 95% of our delegates are now duly registered. What is being done in the registration point now? Ukuqedela ama-comrades angalitholanga ithuba lokuthi bahambe bayokwenza i-pre-registration ebeyenziwa kuma-regions ehlukahlukene. Nama-comrades where for certain circumstances there is a need that a delegate might have to be changed because ucomrade obe delegate sekshoniwe khaya noma kwenzekeni, which is in line with the procedures adopted by the Provincial Executive Committee. So comrades who are not here, it's only those comrades that were not able to be here at this point in time because team registration is processing their matters. Comrades, I also want to welcome the Treasurer General of the ANC, who's also the Acting Secretary General of our movement, Comrade Paul Mashatile. Away, two. Comrades, we have agreed in the Provincial Executive Committee that I will be the chairperson of the first session of this conference, which is the open session of the 9th Provincial Conference of the African National Congress in KwaZulu-Natal. Now, in welcoming all of you, comrades, and I must apologize, I have made an omission ukuthi nginga recognize ukuba khona kwamakhosi asendlunkulu eholwa ubuholi beprovince bendlu yamakhosi esifundazweni sakithi KwaZulu-Natal. Ngiyabingelela bondaba ezitha, ngiyafuna ukuqinisekisa ukuthi namukelekile ngokungathandabuzi kulo mcimbi obaluleke kangaka wombutho wesizwe esifundazweni sakithi KwaZulu-Natal. Ngokunjalo ngifisa nokudlulisa amazwi okwamukela wonke ama-guest ethu esiwamemile kule conference, ukusukela befundisi esibamemile abakhona kuze kuyofika kosomabhizinisi abakhona abamenyiwe nabo ngenxa yeqhaza abadlalayo ukuqinisekisa ukuthi ANC yakwazi ukwenza okunye namhlanje yenza okunye nakusasa. So all of you comrades are welcome, and all of you need to feel comfortable that you have occupied your seats in a right place where the movement has invited you to come. So comrades, what we are going to do now, having welcomed all of you, what we are going to do now, we are going to proceed and request that we all stand up to lead the national anthem. And when we sing the national anthem, bonke abesilisa kuyocelwa ukuthi bakhumule igqoko njengane nhlonipho esiyinikayo iculo lesizwe sakithi. So, comrades, while we are starting to sing the national anthem, I think when comrades who are operating the system, if they are ready with the national anthem, you are ready, comrades. So can I invite all delegates and the leadership of our movement here to stand up so that we can sing the national anthem. Thank you very much. Amandla! Long live the ANC, long live! Comrades, at this point in time, I would like to invite the provincial chaplain of the African National Congress, Ubaba Ulvuno, nabo bonke onyaonhla hamba kanye nabo ukuthi beze ngaphambili ukuze ubaba Ulvuno azosihola ku interfaith prayers. Amandla, away too. Comrades, I now hand over to our provincial chaplain. Thanks, Babul Ful.
Siyabonga kakhulu nobhala sibingelele kwi PC yonke iholwa ukhuzeni sibingelele kakhulu na kwi NEC iholwa uComrade Nocawe nathi sonke sikhona lapha ngaphakathi ngokwehlukana kwamazinga nemisebenzi esijutshiwe umbutho. Sanibonani ma comrade. Sizohlukanisa kabili khona nizo understanda ngoba singena kwisigaba esibalekile esiyingxenye yombutho. Isigaba sethu sokuqala salokho engena kuko sizocula iculo mhla kusungulwa umbutho elaculwayo eliculo lamawesele lithi lizali sidinga lakho uzothi masiqeda lelo culo bese kuza imkhuleko ngokwehlukana kwezinkolo ezirecognizewa umbutho wethu. Ukuthi masiphela leso sigaba bese kungena isigaba sokuba sikhumbula amaqabane ethu aselele, siyobe sesokhela ke izibani nanka amakhandlela akhona senze nomthandazo. Ngiyobe sengiqedile ke session engizele lapha ma comrade. Ngiyonxusa kuba sibambisane ukwenzela ukuthi lokho engakunikezelwa umbutho uba ngikwenze sikwenze ngempumelelo. Ngicela siphakame sihlabelele liza lisidingala Thixo Nkosi yenyane zonke inhlanga zonke mazizuze usinde amadolo lele magagobe pha ogezitezi tizonkilwi siluxelo du la siye gozanga Ezipiti Yonage Bona izwe uxolele binqumboya luze lufusa yala Nkosi imfundiso yezwi uze osivuse sive enyaniso Ngicela sihlale phansi njengamanje sizodlulisa ukuba kunezinkolo ezimbalwa engasekho ngenxa yesikhathi. Inkolo yamaRasta, inkolo yamaHindu, inkolo yamaBaha'i, inkolo yama-Islam ngenxa yesikhathi. Kodwa njengamanje kukhona inkolo ezimbili ezisasele. Umama uNkomo uzosenzela umkhuleko ngokwenkolo yesintu. Sicela usondele Khubisa Mzilankathi.
Sanibonani. Ubuholi be-province, ubuholi be-NEC, ubuholi bama-region, ubuholi bamawadi, ngiyabingelela. Ngizocela sikhuleke, ngixolise kakhulu ukuthi ngizokhuleka ngimile. Inkolo yami ithi mangikhuleka angiguce phansi. Ngizocela ukuthi kungabi kubi ukungaguci kwami, ngicela ukungena emkhulekweni. Siyakhuleka nina bobaba omkhulu nabogogo lapho nikhona. Silapha kule nkomfa sizonxusa, sizocela ukuba nanku umbutho kaKhongolose la uhlangene khona. Sizothi namhlanje njengoba uhlangene sikhulekela ubunye, sikhulekela ukuzwana, sikhulekela ukuthandana, sikhulekela ukuba namhlanje ngoba sihlangene kube khona lokho kukhuluma ngazwilinye. Siyanxusa kwinkokheli zethu esezalala ukuba nanku umbutho kaKhongolose. Sizocela ukuthi nubumbe ube sezingeni elifanele lika KZN. Sizothi kuwena Chief Albert Thule nanku umbutho. Sizothi kuwena Dr. Langalibalele Dube nanku umbutho. Sizothi kuwena Baba Holihlahla Mandela nanku umbutho owawushiya ubumbene. Sizocela ukubumbana namanje, kuzokuphele ukungaboni ngasolinye, kuphele ukwebhana, kuphele ukubulalana, ukuze lo mbutho ukwazi ukusimama. Sizokhuleka su KZN ukuthi ngenelelani. Sithi kuwena Albert Sisulu, Albertina Sisulu, na imbokodo, sicela ubunye. Sizothi kuwena Lilian Ngoyi, na imbokodo, sicela ubunye nokuzwana nokuthandana. Sizothi einkokhelini zonke engiyibizile nengayibizanga zihlangane zibheke nangu KZN, zibheke nanku umbutho kaANC. Mama uMxenge nanku umbutho kaANC. Sicela ukuthi niubheke, nihambe nawo ngobunye, nisilekelele emkhulekweni wethu. Sinimemeza ngoba sinethembile. Engibabizile nengababizanga ngenxa yesikhathi. Sizocela ukuthi nisilekelele, nihlangane nina nakhe lo mbutho ubonakale uleader njengoba kade iKZN kuyiyona ebilidi hamba phambili. Sincobeleni izithi esizaziyo nesingazazi, lo mbutho ubonakala uba impumelelo. Kuthi nalabo bazokhethwa namhlanje bese besebenzela umbutho kaKhongolose, nibapha amandla okuleader lo Khongolose. Ngenxa yesikhathi ngicela ukuba mfishane, kodwa ngithi ngiyanimema nonke nina inkokhele nafa nizabalaza nizabazela lo mbutho ukuthi nanku umbutho awubonakala usimama. Ngiyabonga makhosi.
Sithokoze kakhulu kobe siphahlela kwizinyandezulu zombutho. Njengama-Afrika siyazi ukuthi ubu-Afrika bethu abuphelele singababizile labo esivela okhalweni lwabo. Njengamanje request Sheikh Walid on behalf of the Muslim faith to come and render a prayer.
I greet you with peace. Assalamu alaikum May peace and blessing be upon all protocol preserved. I'm going to read a verse from the Holy Quran and translate it in my prayer. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. قل اللهم مالك الملك تؤتي الملك من تشاء وتنزع الملك ممن تشاء وتعز من تشاء وتذل من تشاء بيدك الخير إنك على كل شيء قدير. O Allah, the creator of heaven and earth, Lord of over and all authorities, you give authority to whoever you pleased and remove it from who you pleased. You give honor to whoever you please and you disgrace who you please. All good in your hands. Surely you alone are most capable of everything. So Almighty God, we thank you. We thank you for giving us the opportunity to gather here today to start this conference in your name. We pray and beg of you, Almighty God, to make this conference peaceful and successful, Almighty. Bestow on our leaders peace and harmony. Almighty God, give them the wisdom to choose the right leaders for the future that's going to serve our nation, the nation that's suffering from inequality, suffering from unemployment and poverty. Almighty God, shower us with your blessing today in this conference and every day. Amen.
Sibonge kakhulu ubaba umfundisi Walid. Sizongena kumfundisi uShangase ozosenzela umkhuleko ngokwenkolo yobuKristu. Igama lenkosi leyo inqa ophephela khona ophephe yakusindiswa ohlezi kuyona kana kwesaba nokubumhlabano nokuba sanyazanyiswa abayokhuleka kamele nkosi bayasindisa bayakusindisa yebuyasha umphalo bongwe ngabantu libongwe ingelosi alikho impela likho impela likho alikho belihle njengalo
Thank you. All protocol observed. Thank you, Bishop Lvuno, for stirring up the spirit. You can actually see that this hall has become a heavenly choir. The national leadership, as well as the provincial leadership and the community of delegates present here, let me take this opportunity and pray on behalf of the Christian faith. And I want to pray using the frame of the scripture found in the book of 2 Kings, chapter number 6. It's a historical narrative of young men who went out on a project. They went out to go and look for wood with which they were going to extend the place where they were staying. Kuneinsizwa lapha eBhayibhelini lithi iBhayibheli zaphuma ziyokha imishaya ehlathini ukuze zinwebe indawo ezihlala kuyo. Lezi insizwa njengoba zazihamba khona eyayiphethe imbazo kuzona. Kwakungezona zonke zayiphethe imbazo, yayinye eyayiphethe imbazo. Ngiyacabanga ukuthi ababehamba naye babelokhu bejeqeza ukuthi kazi uzogawula bani njoba kuyena yedwa ophethe imbazo. Kodwa iBhayibheli lithi bafika ke ehlathini bagawula ngoba iaim kwakukuthi imbazo igawule ihlathi. Umyalezo wami ngalesi scripture uzothi my comrades ANC esithanda kangaka abaphethe imbazo abagawule ihlathi. Singagawulani sodwa. Abaphethe imbazo abagawule ihlathi. Baba uthongcwele nonguyise wenkosi yethu Jesu Kristu. Nkulunkulu wasezulwini, uNkulunkulu ongenamnyaka, uNkulunkulu ohlele emaphakadeni, uNkulunkulu owazikhethela ukuthi uzohlalaphi, uNkulunkulu owazi bonke abantu abasebusweni bomhlaba, somandla sonini nanini, Alpha Omega, siqalo siphetho ngonyama omndeni kaJuda, Lily of the Valley, Ancient of Days, Alpha and the Omega, mqalisi mphelelisi, wena okuhlakanipha kwakhe kungunaphakade akunamkhawuko. Nakhu la sikhona uNkulunkulu wethu, nali iqembu elibusayo nansi African National Congress, siyeza phambi kwakho sizanayo njengabapristi, siyayizulisa phambi kwesihlalo sobukhosi. Wena uyabazi bonke labantu abala, awubazi ngama credentials, ubazi bese amahlule eziswini zonina, wazi inani leinwele isemakhandabo. uNkulunkulu othandekayo, indlela ohlakaniphe ngayo, wazi into abazoyikhuluma from this point until Sunday, uyazi yonke njengoba injalo. uNkulunkulu ongcwele yengamela, thatha isihlalo sakho, thatha ukuphatha, thatha ukungqongqoshe, thatha uNkulunkulu ukutuswa, thatha amagunya. Ivikele uNkulunkulu ongcwele le conference, ivikele ngegama lika Jesu waseNazaretha. uNkulunkulu ongcwele siyayifohlisa iunity, siyiphusha ngenkani. uNkulunkulu othandeka ukuthula sikuphusha ngenkani, siyakufohlisa baba wethu onamandla onke. Siyayaleza ingelosi kuleli yakhona nakuleli yakhona nakuleli yakhona, ayivikele bonke abakule ndawo. Baba ongcwele nababaholi, labantu abahlelela ngaphambili basaya phambi kwakho ukuyoyilanda, baphinde balande nangabantu ababahole besesemhlabeni. uNkulunkulu ibusise le conference ngobusiso lwaphakade. Sikwethembile ukuthi lo mthandazo esiwenza kule ndawo uyarekhodwa namhlanje according to Mark 11:24. Uthe uma simikhuleka asikholwe ukuthi konke sikukhulekelayo sesikwamukelisiwe. Thatha udumo wena ohleli ngakwesokunene sikaNkulunkulu nosobuya masinyane. Amen.
Singena esigabeni sokugcina, sicele ukubakhulula abefundisi babuyele bacuphe lapha ade behlezi khona. Singena kwisigaba sokukhumbula ngokuba sokhele izibani, ukukhumbula ama comrades ebesinawo embuthweni kulesi sikhathi. Izwi lenkosi kwihubo 18 verse 28 lithi ngokuba wena uyokhela isibani sami usimakade uNkulunkulu wami uyakhanyisa ubumnyama bami. Ihubo 18 verse 28. Siyocela ke ama comrade lawa adejotshiwe ukuba azolekelela ukuba kokhelwe izibane angilekelela. Cela ncane sizocela ke ukuthi hlalo nanobhala nabamele ama leagues nomele national beze ukuba babambe nazi izibani ngizozokhela bese nina nokhela kulezi ezinkulu esikhona. Bizohlukana abanye bazoba kulezi ngapha abanye babe kulezi ezingapha. Okay, ngibambe. Ngizonokhele. Sicela umele Women's League. Sicela umele Women's League, omele Youth League, omele Veterans League basondele. Sisasemkhulekweni comrades. Sizoqeda maduzana. Youth League khona noma yikho omele oh this one. I am yes, Cela ama comrades sime ngezinyawo sizokwenza umkhuleko okukhumbula lama comrade onke aselele. Cela sithi ukuzonda. Dinika mehlo dikhangele phezulu enko Bone khona ngibone khona aba evuya enko unikame Dika Pesu Enko Bone kona ngibone Aba Evuya ngase ngizwa izwi livele ezulwini lithi lobo ukuthi babusisiwe abafileyo befele enkosini kusukela kulesi sikhathi ebusha umoya ukuze baphumule ekhandlekeni kwabo ngokuba imisebenzi yabo yabalandela kabasayikulamba kabasayikoma kabasoze bahlatshwa ilanga nakushisa kuni ngokuba iwundle elingaphakathi nesihlalo sobukhosi liyakubelusa libaholele emthonjeni amanzi okuphila noNkulunkulu yakubelusa ayisule inyembezi zonke emehlweni abo masikhuleke. Nkulunkulu somandla ekhona kwimoya yabantu bakho iphelelisiwe, siyacela ngokuyithoba ukuba sibeke imphefumulo yamaqabane onke alalile kusukela ngesikhathi se-COVID nangaphambili kuze kube manje. Siwabeke esandleni sakho, siyawakhumbula, siyawathanda noma singeke sisakwazi ukuzwa amaphimbo abo, singeke sisawezwa amancoko abo, kodwa enhlizweni zethu nasengqondweni zethu bohlala bekhona. Siyacela ukuba ubagcine emseni wakho, ubayise ekuphumuleni, usifundise thina esasele ngalokhu nangezinye izibonakaliso zokubhubha eyifica bonke abantu abasenyameni ukuba sikuqonda ukuthi kuphila kwethu akunancekithi, imihla yethu mfishane, kodwa kumele sishiye umzizima oyokhunjulwa ngabantu bonke ebesiphila phakathi kwabo. Bagcineke bekuwe, siyabathanda belapho bekhona, egameni likaJesu inkosi, amen. Cela nokheleke maqabane kule makhandlela amakhulu. Okay, siyabonga, sicela ukuba sokhele lawo makhandlela. Sengihlala phansi ma comrades, hlalo khuzeni ne-PEC yonke. Njenge spiritual father senu ngicela ukudlulisa amazwi okubonga, iqhaza enilibambile kwisikhathi ebesingelula. Wonke umuntu okhethwayo ukhethelwa umbono wesikhathi ukuba awuseve. Sibonga ukuthi niseve PEC yalapha eKZN ngesikhathi esifice abantu bonke kwasidida lokho kubizwa ngeCovid, naseva kodwa umbutho ngokuthembeka. Ahamba maqabane, sahamba sawafihla baze bangabaza lapha ekhaya ukuthi mangibuya mina ngisaphephile yini, kodwa uNkulunkulu wama nathi kuze kube manje. Sibonga ukusebenza okuhle nani, whether abanye bazobuyela namhlanje ukuseva noma ngeke babuyele ukuseva kulama positions, akubalekile su ANC. Okwesibili, siseve ngesikhathi esilikhoni lapho okuye kwenza isifundazwe sakithi sathinteka ngokubanjwa kukababa uNcamalala, kwanyakaza kwathathwa impahla. Bekufanele kusidivide, kodwa nasebenza ngokuthembeka ukuba singadivideki, yikho sikule nkonfa. Sisebenze kwisikhathi lapho ibandla lasebuhleni liphakama nalo linga-understand ukuthi yini enenza ukuthi kungaqondi ngokuhlalo sakhona. Abantu abaningi baba confused, bekufanele sidivideke kodwa nama nawugcina umbutho. Kufanele ukuba sikubonge sikutuse ukuthi uNkulunkulu akaqhubeka ame nani. Ma comrade, is late zohlala zikhona embuthweni, kodwa mawusukhethiwe qinisekisa ukuthi obengekho kwislate sakho umbamba ngesandla, siqhubeke siye phambili. Asingabi izitha emva kwale conference. Ngikhuluma njengobaba wenu okomoya, ngoba noma ningengibone njalo kodwa emkhulekweni wami ngikhulela into eyodwa ukuthi ningahlukani. Uma uJosefa ephelezela abafowabo uthi hambani, kodwa ningaxabani endleleni. Ngithi ngigcwalisa leli gama is late asibekhona, kodwa mase idlulile is late asibambane ngesandla siyingane zandawonye, siyadingana. I'll continue to pray for you. Yesami kuphela isikhundla esingavotelwa. Ngoba noma ngabe ngikuphi ngiyohlala ngiwumfundisi. Ezenu ziyashintsha ngoba kumele iphakanyiselwe izandla. I'll continue to pray for you. Ukuba phumelelani nibe ilokhu uNkulunkulu anifisele khona. uNkulunkulu abusisele conference manje naphakade. Amen.
Amandla! Amandla! Comrades, what we are going to do now, we were informed by the leadership of the ANC in the eThekwini region in about an hour or two ago that we have now unfortunately lost the newly elected regional treasurer of the ANC in eThekwini. She passed away a few hours ago after a slightly longer period of time engaphilanga. Now into esiyicelayo ke macomrade ukuthi sizosukuma sonke ukuhlonipha okokuqala ucomrade Uzo who passed away a little while ago. Wonke ama-comrades asishiyile emhlabeni kule term of office ebesikuyo ephelayo kule weekend. Kodwa sizokwenza ke lokho sime ngenyawo. Sidedele ingoma ezodlalwa ehlonipha uDeputy Secretary General of the ANC as the most senior leader of the departed of our comrades. So when we honor her as the most recently departed leader of our movement, we honor all of them under her leadership. So can I invite conference to stand up? Thank you very much.
La mama alambuto ala mama alambuto chesituate alangotolo mama chesituate ala langotolo chelu Mandela Uchelu Peter Mkapa, Uchelu Oliver Tambo, Uchelu Kisa.
Amanda! Amanda! Thank you very much, comrade. We were paying tribute to our departed leaders and stalwarts of our movement who passed away between the 18th or the 21st of July 2018 and today the 22nd of July 2022. Because we met like this 4 years ago on the 21st of July 2018 when we elected the current leadership of the ANC in the province. And we made an undertaking that the next conference of the ANC will sit exactly the same weekend in which the other one had taken place. And I do want to congratulate all of you, comrades, because it was not going to be possible without your direct participation and involvement. for us to achieve that objective. What we are going to do, comrades, now, is to invite a leadership alliance. Ukuthi ize ngaphambili. Invite a leadership alliance ukuthi isondele ngaphambili. Kuzoqala i-representative yeKOSATU isinikeze message of support, and then after iKOSATU kuzobe sekulandela i-Communist Party. Angazi noma okay, bengithi ngibona isandla ngiyabona ngathi sesibuye sehla. So comrades, while we are waiting for the leadership of KOSATU, I know nobhala nohlalo bakhona. Ngingacela ukuthi eze ngaphambili leadership ozosinikeza message of support on behalf of inqola emasondo-sondo. uKOSATU. Amandla awethu Oliver Tambo. Oliver Tambo. Oliver Tambo. Kitty Oliver Tambo. Oliver Tambo. Oliver Tambo. Oh, sebambunga siyekele. Nasebunzimeni. Oliver Tambo. Ambisandla sam. Oliver Tambo. Oh, sebambunga siyekele. Ngishe bunzimeni. Oliver Tambo. Isandla sa Oliver Tambo. Hiti Oliver Tambo. Isandla sa Oliver Tambo. Oliver Tambo. Isandla Oliver Tambo. Usibambunga siyekele. Nasebunzimeni. Kete Oliver Tambo. Isandla sam Oliver Tambo. Oh, sebambunga siyekele. Ngishe bunzimeni. Oliver Tambo. Oliver Tambo. Hiti Oliver Tambo. Oh, Oliver Tambo. Amandla awethu. Comrade Mthombeni. Comrade Chair weKOSATU. Thank you very much.
Amandla. Viva ANC, viva. Viva SACP, viva. Qina KOSATU, qina. Qina Sanko, qina. Qina the Women's League, qina. Qina PYA, qina. Qina ANC Youth League, qina. Qina Lufa Simba, qina. Amandla. Amandla. Siyabonga kakhulu Comrade Mpemba. Ngethuba osinika lona sikhosathu KwaZulu-Natal. As we start sending this message of support and of solidarity from the Federation of the Workers in this province, let me first start by greeting Ustalo ANC kule province, Comrade KZN siyabingelela nkokheli, nino nobhala wakho who's chairing the session. Let me also greet all the members of the NEC led by TG, who is amongst us also acting as SG. The NEC members, comrades, the PC members of the ANC, the Youth League, the Women's League, the Communist Party, the whole of Ustalo, Ubaba Uzwide, a newly elected Central Committee member, Mkhatshwa siyabingelela leadership yakho yonke khona. Ukhabazela unobhala wekhosathu and the entire POBs who are here. Sicela ukubingelela abefundisi bethu abakhona ngaphakathi. Sibingelele abuholi bendabuko obukhona obaba uChiliza Simbonile and other leaders that might be here. Our guests, the government officials, media, and all service providers of this movement. Siyabingelela sukhosathu. But most importantly, we want to say amandla to the delegates, amandla. Siyabingelela ma delegates, this is your conference. We always say amandla semasebeni namhlanje nikhona. Nizonikeza guidance embuthweni. Siyabonga kakhulu comrades, siyasalute kunina. Comrades, today as we meet here to give our message of support to our ally, the ANC, we want to say a few words by first and foremost calling for unity in this conference. We understand that robustness is a culture that is always characterizing us. And we're saying to all of you comrades, we would want to see unity more than anything else, but robustness cannot be wished away in your conference. Because this is where you are sharing the ideas. This is the festival of ideas for one purpose, to say, how do we emancipate, how do we improve the lives of our people in this country? We are therefore saying, if we are saying history will judge us, comrades, history will also judge this conference for what we have met for what we would have discussed, for the behavior that we might have portrayed here. We are part of history making. We are here, comrade, to remind the leader of society, the ANC, that it is important to save this movement because this is the people's movement. ANC do not just lead itself here, but you lead society. As you lead society, comrade, you must never fail to remember the needs of society. You are here representing the needs of branches and areas where you're coming from. And must engage a comrade. Let's go and engage on those issues that are affecting our people to say, how best do we respond to the needs of the people as the African National Congress, as the leader of society? We are here to say, we must save the soul of the movement. It cannot be that every line in the media speaks ill of the ANC because of the things that some of us are doing. Let us remember that this glorious movement is indeed a glorious one. If it's not glorious, it will be us as delegates, as members who are failing the glorious movement. Let us be humble as the leadership, as the members of the movement, comrade, in our society. And we must accept that things have deteriorated in the recent past. You have seen a lot of dissatisfaction in our society, comrade. People are getting irritated by some of the things we do. They elect us to serve them. People need water. People need road. People need free education. People need a quality health sector. And therefore, if we respond to those needs that society needs, we will be able to be saying we are guaranteed the next generation to be leading this movement. So we need to guide, comrades, that we are sticking to the principles of the ANC. Which, comrades, where we're coming from, we know that the main principle of the ANC was uniting South Africans to wage a struggle against the oppressive system. But today, because we are in power, we must struggle to make sure that our people get better living conditions. We are seeing, comrade, that the economy of the country is in the hands of the 10% of the population of this country. 80% of the population are living in poverty. We are leading this movement. Let's respond to those needs of our people. The issues of inequalities is a problem. The issue of fuel price, the issue of GBV, racism in this country is still on. We are happy with that student oqoshiwe lapha e-university lapha eCape Town for urinating on textbooks of a black student. But we are saying a lot still needs to be done to bring these racial groups together. We need each other. There is no way, comrade, we can say this one we don't need. Let us fight political killings in this province, comrade. This thing is caused by greed of individuals who are prepared ukuthi ayongcolisa abantu, because mawuthenga umuntu innocent uthi akawubulala umuntu abangaxabene naye, you are actually making that person dirty. But most importantly, comrades, the danger and the pain you are causing to those orphans is insurmountable. We are saying our government, our law enforcement agencies must make sure that they arrest people. There must be no political killing in our time. Anybody who's pursuing that, we are cabanga nje so uyikhehle ligugile noma usugogo ogugile wakwathenga inkabi bakubuka abantwana nabazukulu balomuntu owambulala, comrade, belambile. So we believe that it's not necessary here, but it's something that's taking place outside. Let's go and deal with it. We are leaders of society. We cannot run away from that one. Comrades, we know your period, chair, and the leadership, you had serious challenges of COVID-19. You had serious challenges of floods. You had serious challenges which are also caused by looting. We know that we have responded to these needs. We are happy, especially the recent floods. But we are saying, what is most important, comrade? Let's deal with issues of global warming. As we discuss here, let's see how do we deal with those matters. How do we make sure that environment, we do not make it to be angry such that it responds in the way it does. And we are happy, ukuthi we have seen our leaders running up and down, bevikela abantu, kuze kufika ne-vaccine. And we are happy ukuthi this vaccine is not forced on people, but we are encouraging people to vaccinate. Because this COVID is not gone yet. Workers have sent us, chairperson, to remind you that they are at pains ukuthi under your leadership as ANC basahlukumezeka. Why neoliberalism is dealing with them? But kukhona into ephethe abasebenzi in this province. La komasipala kuxosha abasebenzi into ebuhlungu. If you go to Newcastle, more than 220 workers expelled. Ogwini, more than 100 workers expelled. Ngapha ngaso eKing Cetshwayo, workers are getting expelled. And we are saying, comrade, let's not use our powers to deal with people where we differ politically. If you have an issue with a comrade, deal with that worker as a worker, and there are conditions of service that govern employment conditions. We are equally, comrade, are not happy with the issue of the erosion of collective bargaining, where we have seen our movement-led government reneging on the resolution taken at Collective Bargaining Council, like Resolution 1 of 2018, where the public servants were not paid what was due to them and what had been agreed upon to them. So, city comrades, as workers, siyacela ukuthi kubanjwane. The unemployment rate is high. Sifisa ukubona ugovernment wethu ukuthi wenze njani ukuqeda unemployment in this province. We are concerned, comrades, ukuthi senze njani ngabantu abasemakhaya abasetshalile emakhaya in terms of making sure ukuthi izinto abazitshalayo nazo ziyangena kulama food chains, these big shops like abo Shoprite, Pick n Pay and others. Umuntu mefuya inkukhu zamaqanda senze njani siwu government ukumsupport ukuthi akwazi naye ukudayisa kulezi zitolo ukuze phela abantu bakithi nabo baphumelele comrade. Sengihlala phansi sihlalo ikhosathu iyacela ukuthi comrade, let us avoid careerism as a way of making sure ukuthi ufuna ukuleader ANC ngoba wena uzibona ngelilanga kuwena ufanele ukusihlalo noma ubunobhala. Zibona uyimember comrade until members see you as a leader. What we have seen in the media, the overstating of leadership towards this conference, we hope is not true. And we believe it should not be true. That ama comrade says align ngamagama thiza foreign to this organization. It's not correct, comrade. Let's make sure ukuthi sikhuluma ngombutho wodwa ANC. If we talk about RET, let's talk about it as a policy of the ANC, not as an organization within the ANC. Let's not talk about things like comrade that we don't know as figures as Zoman, which Konama structures, Abis or friends like this, Taliban and everything. Be ANC, comrade, please. Amanda, comrades, chair, as I conclude, I know what I'm causing problems. As COSATU, we call for the unity of the ANC. We are wishing you all the best. Amanda. Thank you.
Amanda. Long live COSATU, long live. Long live COSATU, long live. My comrades. Ngicela silalelane ma comrades. Ngicela silalelane ma comrades. Into yokuqala engicela ukisho ukuthi siwutholile umlayezo othunyelwe uhlalo we-ANC eNkosibhambatha region ukuthi lapho nihleli khona ama comrades indawo yokuhlala ikhona into engenhle noma engahambi kahle ngayo. I-team yethu izoyi-attenda leyo matter. Sibone ukuthi siyilungisa kanjani. Asibekezelelane ngoba sikulento esikuyona ndawonye. Makukhona imistake ekhona nge-sitting arrangement so deala nayo. Okwesibili ma comrades, siku conference manje sesikwi conference. Ngizocela ukuthi noma ngabe eminye yembono ebekwayo njoba sikwi conference ayihambisani kangakanani nabanye bethu. Kodwa kufanele sinikezane ithuba lokuthi imbono ibekwe ngoba nembono ehlukile kuleyo izonikwa ithuba mase kufanele ibekwe nayo. Ukuze sibe iconference stable, decent, that is proceeding in an exemplified way of the African National Congress. So sizonikana lolo thuba lelo. Ukhona ucomrade la engimbone emene ebhodi lapha. So ngicela ukuthi ngimuzwe ukuthi uthini lo comrade before ngihlabele emgama. Can we open a mic there so that I can hear what is that comrade would like to say? Cela baphethe sound system ningivulele leya microphone.
One, two. Thank you, Mbonga Chairperson. Igama lami ndinguphumzile, ndinguwaka Nocanda, ndiphuma eHeri Gwala region, kwi-Kokstad sub-region, ndiphuma Ward 1, kwi-Heri Gwala branch. Chairperson, I think ndiphakamele into eziwu-2 engicela ukuzichecka. Ndingathi mhlambe ndise-conference-ini, ndi-end up aziba ndikweyiphi indawo. Mandiqale kwinto yokuqala. Eyokuqala Chairperson into endifuna ukuyichecka yokuthi koko ndingenile apha as i-delegate elisuka ebranchini andina-program kodwa ndiyabona kuyaproceedwa ngaphambili, and as a delegate I think I have to have a program ndazi uba sikweyiphi indango sihamba kanjani, except ukuba kulena ke conference uhlelo lungolunye nalapho futhi andina-problem ukucaciselwa ndazi ukuthi hayi uhlelo lutshintshile, there is no need of uba ndibe neprogram as i-delegate. Eyokuqala leyo.
Alright.
Eyesibini, hayi chairperson kona ndiyacela bantu benkosi sikwi-conference apha size ngokuza vele imibono into zehlukene kodwa ndizocela chairperson izithethi mazingaprovoke i-conference inhle kakhulu, masingayiprovoke.
Comrades, let me indicate that udaba lwama packages namakhope programs zizocela i-team yethu administrative ukuthi is-attendele lona. I must apologize, I took it for granted ukuthi ngalesikhathi ama-comrades kuregister bahambe ne-program. Kodwa ke into engicela ukuyenza in the meantime ukuthi ngiyi-outline i-program beyiletha so that bazothi beyiletha kodwa i-conference kungashiyi ukuthi imile ngoba i-program asiyazi izoza i-program. Now comrades, i-program yethu esesiyiqalile siyabonga nje comrade uNocanda ukuthi uyiraise leyo matter ngoba bengeke sibone ukuthi ama-copies e-program awakafiki lapho. I-program esikuyona ama-comrades njengamanje besikuma messages of support selidlulile kwi-COSATU sisakwi-open session. Uma siqeda njoba dlule kwi-COSATU kuzongena i-Communist Party. Uma qeda i-Communist Party bese singena kwi-keynote address noma the official opening of the Provincial Conference ezodeliver acting Secretary General of the ANC Comrade Mashatile. Masiqeda lapho so bese singena kwi-presentation ye-political report of the conference ezawudeliver u-provincial chairperson of the ANC. Uma siqeda lapho sizobe sesibreaka senzele ukuthi thina sibelonga kwi-steering committee siye kwi-steering committee for about an hour, break nje encane, senze ukuthi siyothola ukuthi registration seyihambe yafika phi, makhona inkinga ezikhona siyoyixazulula njenge-steering committee. Emva kwalelo hour siyabuya siza kwi-plenary. When we come back to plenary ngalelo hour sekuzongena ngaphakathi kuphela ama-voting delegates ngoba sobe sesiya kwi-closed session la khona usekela nobhala ezothula i-credentials report. Ekudluleni kuyona i-credentials report nama-rules e-conference. Masuka lapho kwi-credential report nama-rules e-conference kuzobe sekutshela ngaleso sikhathi u-chairperson we-session kuzobe seku-provincial chair. Bese maqedwa kadoctor ama-credentials singene kwi-presentation ye-organizational report. Kodwa uma ngabe i-National Executive Committee leadership edila ne-Electoral Commission ithi ngalesikhathi is-adopta ama-credentials ba-ready ukuthi sebengeza kwi-plenary badile ne-aspects of i-nomination ama-officials, bazokwenza lokho ukuze ngoba lokho kwenziwa kwi-session la kusuke khona ne-media bese iyaphuma i-media bese unobhala athule i-organizational report, u-treasurer athule i-financial report. That is comrade the program for today. Now once again I do want to apologize that your packages are not yet with you. We are attending to that matter. Your packages are going to be delivered where you are sitting. I will make a follow-up with the comrades who are dealing with the logistics that we're supposed to bring to you your package, including the t-shirt and the entire regalia of the conference. So, comrades, with due respect, I think that is basically the program that was adopted by the Provincial Executive Committee as the program of this conference. When we deal with the credentials and the rules, that is where the conference will start formally constituting itself to adopt the rules, the credentials, and then we proceed. So on that note, comrades, with your permission, let me allow a message of support coming from the Communist Party, the South African Communist Party. Comrade Hlalo wamakomanisi, Comrade Umkhatshwa, you are welcome to the ANC Provincial Conference.
Amandla awethu, viva African National Congress, viva! Unite, ANC, unite! Viva the South African Communist Party, viva! Viva COSATU, viva! Long live with the alliance, long live! Amandla! Thank you very much, Comrade Chairperson of the session, Comrade Mtumseni Ntuli. Let me take this opportunity and acknowledge the leadership of the African National Congress, members of the NEC present, the leadership of the ANC in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, led by the chairperson, Comrade Kuzeni, Comrade Mtumseni, the provincial secretary, and the leadership collective of the PEC. Let me also acknowledge the leadership of the South African Communist Party. In our midst, we are led by our second deputy provincial secretary, Comrade Ushandu. Let me also acknowledge the leadership of COSATU, led by the chairperson of the province, Comrade Doma Mtombeni, and the leadership of the Youth League, the Women's League, the Veterans League, and all other fraternal organizations present. Let me acknowledge abafundisi abakhona, amakhosi asendlunkulu, also amabhizinisi abakhona, and comrades delegates for this conference. Sanibonani maqabane. Comrade Chairperson, allow me to convey our revolutionary greetings from the entire membership of the South African Communist Party in Moses Mabhida province. May I apologize for our provincial secretary, Comrade Themba Mthembu Mvelase, who lost his brother yesterday and has to rush to his homestead, KwaMhlabuyalingana, this weekend for a bereavement. The South African Communist Party receives with warm hearts this invitation to attend the ANC Provincial Conference, which we always consider as an honor as the SACP. This conference is being held at a time when, as the South African Communist Party, we are just emerging from our 15th National Congress last weekend, where we were also addressed by our President of the ANC and the country, Comrade Cyril Ramaphosa. It is the revolutionary alliance of these two organizations and the trade union, COSATU, which is always at the center in guiding our liberation struggle and is the driver of our national democratic revolution to bring about radical economic transformation of our country and in our society. Comrade Chairperson, at our Congress, we have to raise the question of whether our revolution is still on track. In fact, to those comrades who attended our own provincial Congress in May will remember that we were a bit blunt in raising a question that says, if our revolution were so expensive, why it has become so cheap? The events and some developments leading to our congresses and conferences bear testimony to this. And comrades, as the Communist Party, we want to appeal that we must guard against foreign tendencies that are crippling our movement, because we are jealous about the unity of the African National Congress and the unity of the Alliance. As the SACP, our expectation is that this conference must give us hope on how are we going to confront the serious challenges we are finding ourselves in, which has tended to manifest itself in all spheres of our lives, including, not limited to, rampant social ills, gender-based violence, drugs, crime pandemic, high unemployment, poverty, inequality, teenage pregnancy, and I name but a few. Another expectation, Comrade Chairperson of the session, is that from our side on this conference is how we can improve the functionality of the Alliance. Because comrades will agree with me that the Alliance has not been functional as it is supposed to be. And we do hope that the leadership that will emerge from this conference will be able to address this particular question going forward. Lastly, comrades, another point of concern is the waning support of the African National Congress in the province, that our support as the ANC and Alliance seem to be declining, such that we have lost so many municipalities in the last local government election in 2021. And therefore, we do hope that out of the resolutions that comrades are going to be taking in this conference, with the understanding that in 2 years' time we are going to the 2024 general election, we must ensure that we rise to the occasion of ensuring that the ANC becomes victorious and we win the local government election in 2024. With those few words, comrades, in conclusion, as the Communist Party, as the chairperson of COSATU have raised, we want to say that we hope, comrades, that we'll be able to address the issue of the employees who were dismissed in various municipalities, as it has been mentioned by COSATU. Because, comrades, we cannot afford a situation where us as the ANC, where we are leading in municipalities, we are the one who are dismissing our own people, and only to find that the opposition, once they are in power, they are reinstating those people. We cannot afford to do that, because those people are our support base, and we need them as we need each other in this conference. Comrade, no matter what is going to happen, at the end of the day, we need each other. Siyatingana maqabanga. Long live the African National Congress, long live. Long live the African National Congress, long live. We wish you a successful and a united conference. Thank you very much, Comrade Chairman.
Long live the ANC, long live. Long live the Communist Party, long live. Amandla, awethu. Comrades, comrades ayangena in between lapha distributive program. What I suggest we do in the meantime is that we just sing one revolutionary song. One revolutionary song of the ANC, at the end of which I will invite the acting Secretary General of the ANC to come and officially address the conference. So I need a volunteer who can come to the mic here and lead us on the ANC revolutionary song. Amandla, Amandla. Yo, Solomon.
It's not bad. I would have liked it to be higher, but we don't have more books. We don't have books in your bed. You don't have books in your bed. But it's fine. Yeah, but I would have liked it to be a bit, but let me see. It's fine. But I didn't want to look down. Hayi bengizolungisa nje bangathi uyabaphindezela.
Amandla, 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 comrades. Amandla, 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 Amandla. Amandla! 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 Long live the ANC, long live! Long live the ANC, long live! Long live COSATU, long live! Viva Communist Party, viva! Viva Communist Party, viva! Amandla! Amandla! Away two! Away two! Thank you very much, comrade. That is what we said, let's sing a song. We have sang the song. So now what we are going to do as conference is to invite the acting Secretary General of the ANC to give an address on behalf of the National Executive Committee of our movement. Comrade Treasurer General.
Mandla. 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 Long live the spirit of Comrade Jesse Duarte. Long live. Long live the spirit of Zoe Chabalala. Long live. All power. All power. Mayikhuli ANC, mayikhule. Mayiqine ANC, mayiqine. Viva to the conference, viva. Qina msebenzi, qina. Matabane, good afternoon. It's not yet evening. Mangibulise usihlalo wephondo, Comrade Chairperson, Comrade Sihle Zikalala, Chairperson of the session, our Provincial Secretary, Comrade Mdumiseni Ntuli, and the entire leadership of the African National Congress in KwaZulu-Natal. Let me acknowledge comrades within our midst, members of the National Executive Committee of the ANC who are deployed here in this province and to this conference. Greet the veterans of our movement, regional, zonal, and branch leaders of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, the leadership of the ANC Youth League, the Women's League, and the Veterans League. Let's also acknowledge in our midst leaders of the Alliance, South African Communist Party, COSATU, leaders of COSA, SASCO, Young Communist League, and the Progressive Youth Alliance. Let us also acknowledge within our midst members of parliament who are present, ministers, deputy ministers, members of the provincial legislature, members of the executive councils, councillors, mayors, and members of the mayoral committees who were able to join us this afternoon. Let me also acknowledge Amakhosi, who are amongst us from the various parts of our province, Ndabezit. Acknowledge religious leaders and members of the clergy, members of the diplomatic corps who have been invited to this conference. Let me also acknowledge all leaders of fraternal organizations who have been invited to this conference. And I want to greet you all, comrades and friends. Comrades, I bring to this, the 9th ANC KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Conference, warm and revolutionary greetings from the national officials and the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress. We wish this conference well, and we have no doubt that it will be a resounding success. We expect that at the end of this conference, there will be no winners or losers, but the ANC will be the ultimate winner. We thank the outgoing PC for their laser focus on the task at hand in the lead up to this conference. In particular, the task of uniting our movement in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. We also thank our branches for their perseverance, understanding, and steadfastness in ensuring that this conference does indeed sit. This, comrades, is a conference of branches of the ANC who must freely and democratically express their will without prejudice, without fear or favor. Amandla asemasebe. While we expect robust engagements and at times robust contestations, we trust that comrades will engage each other in a cordial manner, always bearing in mind that we are members of one ANC. We also expect high levels of revolutionary discipline from all delegates in this conference. The eyes of the world and our country are upon you. The people of our country and the people of this province in particular expect the ANC to provide decisive leadership and workable solutions to the problems they face. Accordingly, this conference is called upon not to be inward-looking, but focus and inward-looking by focusing only on ourselves as members of the ANC. We must make time to thoroughly debate and find solutions to societal problems. For to us, the revolution is about the people. At all times, we must remind ourselves that the decision and act of joining the ANC is a lifetime commitment and sacrifice to put one's energy and labor, skill, intellect, and talent to the service of the people as a whole. We join the ANC not for our own sake, but to be of selfless service to others. This, comrades, is in line with the theme of your provincial conference, unity, renewal, to serve the people of KwaZulu-Natal. Let me pay once again tribute to our departed comrade, DSG. Comrades, as we gather at this conference, a dark cloud has engulfed our movement, Our much loved Deputy Secretary General is no more. She met an untimely death on the 17th of July, a day before we celebrated Tata Mandela's birthday. Comrade Jessie was a tower of strength within our movement. She was dependable. She was hardworking. She always exhibited clarity of thought, and you could never doubt where she stood on a particular matter. She loved her movement dearly, the African National Congress. She dedicated her life to the struggle for liberation. In fact, her very own life was the struggle. She was a gender activist to the core. She championed the cause for the total emancipation of women. She was committed to alleviating the plight of the poor and marginalized in our society. She was compassionate. Equally to her family, she was also a pillar of strength. She was a well-rounded revolutionary who represented the best amongst us. We will miss her. We will miss her wise counsel and her sharp mind. We will miss her never-die spirit. May the soul of Comrade Deputy Secretary General, Comrade Jessie Duarte, rest in eternal peace. Lala ngotolo Bogoto. You ran a good race till we meet again. Comrades, the best tribute we can offer to Comrade DSG is to ensure that this conference succeeds and that in the end, the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal emerges much stronger, more united, as well as firmly and irreversibly on the path to renewal. From this conference, the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal must be a more effective instrument in the hands of our people to better their lives. Comrades, our DSG would expect nothing less from us. We dare not fail her. Comrade Chair of the session, let us take this opportunity once again as the African National Congress to extend a hand of solidarity and comfort to all those families who lost their loved ones, property, livelihood, as a result of the devastating floods in eThekwini and Ilembe district municipality. We commend the work of the ANC structures and volunteers in KwaZulu-Natal, working with the government and other community organizations to ensure a swift, coordinated response to the disaster and to restore normality. We were encouraged, comrades, that our structures were visible on the ground, lending a hand where possible. This is a kind of caring ANC we must continue to build. We were also encouraged by the outpouring of solidarity from all South Africans throughout the country. They reminded us once more that umuntu ngabantu, that I am my brothers and my sisters' keeper, that without each other we are incomplete. We urge government to speed up the rollout of much needed resources to help those affected by the disaster. The events in KwaZulu-Natal emphasize once more the need for us as the ANC to do everything to strengthen our nation's response to climate change, which is proving to be an existential threat to humanity. We look up to this conference to provide some direction in that regard. Let us also take this opportunity to once again reach out to the families of those who lost their lives following incidences of unrest that engulfed the province in July last year. Whilst we focus attention to the underlying causes of the unrest, let us look briefly at the global environment. Comrades, the 9th Provincial Conference of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal is taking place at a time of great uncertainty and volatility in the global geopolitical environment. The war in Ukraine has contributed significantly in raising this geopolitical risk. The longer the conflict persists, as well as the imposition of further sanctions, could negatively affect global economic recovery. Global inflation is expected to continue rising. So too are lending rates, with adverse implications for investments, growth, and job creation. Increasingly, comrades, we are living in a multipolar world where there are not one or two powerful political and economic blocs, but many that are emerging in different parts of the world. Multilateral institutions are in decline as countries tend to be more inward-looking. Supply chains are being reconfigured, leading to possible disruptions. This could negatively affect global trade patterns. Comrades, all of these developments require that we constantly sharpen our tools of analysis so that we can successfully navigate the challenges they bring to the fore. Domestically, our movement is facing an onslaught from our ideological opponents who use every opportunity to find fault with our ways of doing things. With sound arguments, we must defend our movement by systematically engaging in the ongoing aerial battles. Where we have made mistakes, we must admit and be self-critical. Our ultimate goal must be to win back the confidence of the people. Equally, comrades, our own subjective and objective weaknesses have opened us up to fierce criticism for those who do not wish us well, both within and outside of government. These weaknesses are contributing to the social distance between our movement and the people of our country. Both in action and in words, we must strive to narrow this social distance. Furthermore, the rising cost of living, high levels of unemployment, poverty and inequality, crime and general lawlessness has created fertile grounds for the emergence of populists, demagogues, xenophobes, and those who promise easy solutions to the problems our country is facing. Once again, comrades, we are called upon to apply the correct tools of analysis to respond to these developments. I do hope that this conference is going to do exactly that. A brief look at unity and renewal of the ANC. Chairperson, as you know, our movement has embarked on an irreversible path of unity and renewal. Our generational mission is to complete this task. Our movement January 8 statement, which provide umkombandlela for the year, directs that one of our tasks as ANC members is to accelerate the fundamental renewal and rebuilding of our movement. Renewal, comrades, is a necessary condition for the ANC to become more effective and a trusted agent for change. Equally, renewal is about returning the ANC to its historic, progressive, and times-tested values. The values of unity, values of honesty, hard work, values of selflessness, of service, of sacrifice, values of democratic centralism, of criticism and self-criticism. These values that have carried our movement over a century of existence. We know, comrades, that the process of renewal will not be easy. There will be temporary setbacks. There will even be pushbacks, even from within our ranks, but we must soldier on. It is not an exaggeration that our movement finds itself in a very challenging period. This is a period where our values are being eroded and undermined. This is also a period in which the level of trust in our leaders, our movement, and the democratic institution that we have built is diminishing. As a movement, therefore, we are faced with a very real possibility of losing the moral high ground and our position as a trusted leader of society. Accordingly, we must act now to arrest this decline by renewing the African National Congress. We have also committed ourselves to dealing decisively with the reality that many structures of our organization are in a poor state. Many of them are focused on internal organizational conflicts, factionalism, and furthering the self-interest of individual leaders rather than the aspiration of communities they are meant to serve. This has created space for our ideological opponents to gain ground on our traditional strongholds, and more substantively to erode the democratic gains we made since 1994. These characteristics of the social distance that emerged between our movement and the people of South Africa is something that we must pay attention to. This social distance was evident particularly when you look at the outcome of the November local government elections last year. Although our traditional support base did not abandon us by voting for the opposition, they didn't do that, but they were not energized enough to come out in large numbers and vote for us. The fact that our base simply stayed home and did not vote for the opposition is somewhat encouraging because they did not desert us. But it is an indication that despite our weaknesses, both subjective and objective, the opposition in this country is not an alternative. We agree, comrades. The opposition in this country is not an alternative. So our people has once again reaffirmed that the ANC of Comrade Jesse Duarte, Albertina Sisulu, Winnie Madikizela Mandela, Adelaide Tambo, Charlotte Maxeke, Aida Mtwana, Helen Joseph, Rahina Musa, Lillian Goy, and Auntie Sophie de Bray, and many others, remain the only true custodian of the genuine aspirations of the people of South Africa. Our immediate task, therefore, is to work harder to renew, unite, and restore the integrity of the ANC. This will ensure that we regain the confidence, respect of all our people to continue entrusting us with their hopes and their aspirations.
Comrades, part of the renewal process must include strengthening the branches of the ANC, which we regard as the nucleus of our organization. I've got this one as well. I think this one is better. I think it's that light there. That light is very hot. So, comrades, I was saying that we must strengthen the branches of the ANC. Uma sitha amandla semasebeni, we must mean it. We can't say amandla semasebeni, but we have branches that don't exist. Phambili ngama branch phambili. The branches of the ANC have a responsibility to lead, give directions to the daily struggles of our communities. Our branches must always be visible in communities. They must be responsive to the problems faced by communities. ANC members must participate actively, not only in ANC branches, but in school governing bodies, community policing fora, local civic activities, sport bodies, etc. Let us ensure that the ANC transformation agenda find expression in all these local structures. Furthermore, ANC structures at every level must ensure that there is ongoing support for the leagues. Let us support the ANC Youth League, the Women's League, and the Veterans League. But also let us work with the Alliance. Let us work with the SACP, COSATU, SANCO, because these are our historic allies. The unity of the Alliance, comrades, remains one of our primary missions. It is one of the necessary preconditions to the successful execution of the national democratic revolutions. So let us strengthen the unity of the Alliance. Let us work together to ensure that together with the Alliance, we can advance the national democratic revolution. As we navigate our challenges, let us draw comfort in the knowledge that throughout history, each time our movement faced difficult moments, it came out stronger, more united, more determined to fight a good fight. At the Morogoro Conference in Tanzania in 1969, our movement confronted both internal and external challenges, but was able to develop a strategy to deal with the change environment that we were facing, particularly within South Africa as we engaged in the struggle. Ultimately, the Morogoro Conference emerged with a clear purpose to unite and strengthen the ANC. Equally, comrades, the Kabwe Consultative Conference in Zambia in 1985 played a key role in helping the ANC regain its strategic and tactical initiative and in maintaining the moral high ground over the apartheid regime. Comrades will remember that after the Kabwe Conference, the ANC once again emerged more united, rejuvenated, and determined to take the struggle to a new level. As we confront our present challenges, let us summon the courage, the wisdom, and the dedication of those who attended the Morogoro and Kabwe conferences. Let the spirit of Morogoro and Kabwe guide us on the path we have chosen for our movement, the path of unity and renewal. Comrades, unity will always remain the bedrock upon which the ANC was founded. It is sacrosanct. However, building unity does not mean unity at all costs, to the detriment and disregard of our principle. Building unity does not mean unity in defense of wrongdoing and corrupt practices. We are striving for a principal unity to advance the program towards a truly united, non-racial, non-sexist, democratic and prosperous South Africa. Passing a corruption, passing. Comrades, in a week's time, we are convening a national policy conference. The National Policy Conference will be held from the 28th to the 31st of this month. We regard this conference, or we want it to be a festival of ideas and a large political school for our movement. I am delighted, comrades, that this provincial conference will spend time discussing policy documents prepared for the policy conference. Ultimately, our goal must be to review the overall policy direction of the ANC, identify gaps in policy implementation, and to determine what remains to be done to accelerate the advance to the national democratic society. Our policy proposal must produce concrete outcomes that will lift our people from the clashes of inequality, of poverty, of hunger, landlessness, joblessness, and the very real sense of despair and hopelessness. Social compacts with the rest of society are critical in ensuring that our policy proposals deliver the desired result in the shortest time possible. I'm happy that in many parts of our country, provinces have reported that various sectors want these documents. They are engaging civic organization, business, etc. We must encourage that. We need all hands on deck as we confront the myriad of challenges we face. Time is not on our side. We need to work even harder. As I conclude, comrades, I want to just briefly look at the road ahead, the 2024 national general elections. I wish to urge you that immediately after this conference, you should start with the work preparing for the 2024 national general elections. I say this, comrades, because as the ANC, we have a mammoth task ahead of us. We need to work hard to regain lost ground, especially in our key constituencies. We must make it our mission to disappoint those who have already written the ANC obituary for 2024. I'm sure, comrades, you are aware that as you read newspapers and you listen to news every day, but I know, say pelili ANC. We are just going to the funeral. Let us disappoint them. Long live the African National Congress, long live. Our task is not only to re-energize our base, but also to reach out to all the people of South Africa. We must take our campaign to every city, every dorpie, every village, every township, every street corner, and every highway and byway, to every mosque, every church, synagogue, and other places of worship, as well as the factory floors, to engage with the workers. We must not only visit communities during elections, and of course, comrades, this is a complaint we get all the time when we campaign, but abantu hayi siyanibona manje ngoba kunama elections. We need to be with our communities at all times. Neither should we seek to resolve the problems of the people during the elections. We must always be proactive. We must maintain a permanent presence and amongst our communities. We must at all times speak the language of the people. As we prepare to undertake this work, let us be reminded that despite the decline in our recent electoral performance, the ANC remains the only hope for many South Africans, especially the poor and those confined to the margin of our economy and society. They look up to us to do the right things and to provide decisive leadership in resolving the problems of the country. They do not want to see us fighting amongst ourselves. They are yearning for the return of the ANC they have always known, a renewed African National Congress. So, comrades, we have a moral and revolutionary duty not to fail South Africans. They know of no other home. The ANC is their only home. So let us make sure that we work hard with our people. And I have no doubt, comrades, that as we move forward, we are moving to an ANC victory in 2024. ANC victory in 2024. We must say, asijik, no retreat, no surrender. Siyaphambili. We will win that election. You hear, I'm not saying we must, I'm saying we will. We will win that election. Masibambene. If we are united, nothing will defeat us. So, comrades, let me take this opportunity to wish you a successful conference. And I must commend you. Nyayibona le discipline. So angizwe bathi kune discipline KZN nyayibona. Nyayibona le discipline. And I heard one comrade said at the back there at I'm a speaker sanga emotional conference. So I hope I'm emotional. Iqale kahle le conference. I'm a speaker nga emotion. Phambili ngama speaker phambili. A successful comrades to the province of KwaZulu-Natal. We are proud of you, comrades. Make us proud. Mandla. Matla. Viva the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Viva. Viva the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Viva. No surrender. No surrender. Siyabonga Maqabane. Thank you very much. I didn't take long. I know.
Amandla! 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 Long live the ANC, long live. Long live the ANC, long live. Amandla! 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 Viva ANC, viva! Viva ANC, viva! Comrades, let's properly clap our hands to thank the Treasurer General of the African National Congress. Thank you very much, Comrade TG. Thank you very much. We now know for sure that the conference has started. Now that the national leadership of the ANC is not only in attendance, but they've blessed the conference. Because that is where we're accountable. So thank you very much, Comrade TG. Comrades, I do hope that Nitolili program. You see, Koni program, am I right? How big a mansion for waitu. Las buyakona. Yes, intabeni. Zase Angola. Awubheke manje mfowethu. La
liyashona hamba isandla sami ayusungasiyeki ofike ekhaya ubatshele la ngishiye khona emahlathini emahlathi aselusaka ofike ekhaya ubatshele la ngishiye khona emahlathini emahlathi aseTanzania. Oh, Oliver Tambo ambisanda. Oliver Tambo Oliver Tambo bambisanda sam Oliver Tambo. How Oliver Tambo ambisanda Oliver Tambo Oliver Tambo bambisanda sam Oliver Tambo bambis. Oh sibambunga siyekeli ambisandla nasebunzimeni. Oh Oliver Tambo ambisandla sam Oliver Tambo. Usibambunga siyekeli ambisandla nasebunzimeni. Oliver Tambo ambisandla sam Osibambunga siyekeli ambisandla Oliver Tambo Oliver Tambo ambisandla sam Oliver Tambo bambi. Uzusibambunga siyekeli ambisandla Oliver Tambo Oliver Tambo ambisandla sam Oliver Tambo ba. Awusibambunga siyekeli ambisandla Oliver Tambo Oliver Tambo sam Ubosibambunga siyekeli ambisandla
sam Oliver Tambo Oliver Tambo ambisandla sam Mandla away two. Long live the spirit of Comrade Jesse Duarte, long live. Long live the undying spirit of Jesse Duarte, long live. Long live the spirit of Comrade Zodwa Shabalala, long live. Long live the spirit of Comrade Zodwa Shabalala, long live. Amandla. Comrades, I hope by now most of you have received the political report. Okay. Yes. Kodwa ke ngoba iya-distributwa ze ninga-distribheki abayi-distribute. Yona yinde lendlela yinde lendlela yona yinde lendlela yinde lendlela ifuna abalungileyo ifuna abalungileyo awuyona yinde lendlela oyinde lendlela oyona yinde lendlela oyinde lendlela ifuna abalungileyo ifuna abalungileyo oyona yinde lendlela oyinde lendlela oyona yinde lendlela oba yinde lendlela oba ifuna abalungileyo ifuna abalungileyo awawayinde lendlela oyona yinde lendlela oyona yinde lendlela oyona yinde lendlela oba ifuna abalungileyo ifuna abalungileyo baba yinde lendlela oyinde lendlela oyona yinde lendlela kodwa yinde lendlela oba ifuna Thando, thando, amandla, awethu. Viva ANC, viva! Viva ANC, viva! Long live the spirit of Oliver Tambo, long live. Long live the spirit of Inkosi Chief Albert Luthuli, long live. Long live the spirit of Nelson Mandela, long live. Amandla. Comrades, I'm sure that by now, those who have not received the report are closer to getting it. May I take this opportunity to greet and extend our appreciation to the National Executive Committee for its presence here, led by the TG, Comrade Paul Mashatile, the acting SG. I wish to also greet all NEC members who are here, who are deployees to this province. They are led by Comrade Notawe Mafu. We also, in our midst, have national deployees who came as part of assisting us in running the conference. But more than that, we have NEC members who are residents in KwaZulu-Natal. And therefore, I wish to greet all of them. I greet the PEC of the ANC, led by the Provincial Secretary, Comrade Mtumsentuli. I wish to also greet the entire leadership of our regions, led by regional chairpersons and secretaries. I extend my humble greetings to all branches of the ANC who are represented by the delegates here, the branches, the basic unit of the ANC. I also want to take this opportunity, nangenhlonipho enkulu, sibonge ubukhona bamakhosi asendlunkulu. Phakathi kwethu khona usihlalo wendlu yobuholi bendabuko KwaZulu-Natal, Inkosi Ushinga. Ifisa ukubingelela kwinkosi Ushinga yesizwe Samandelu, but is here as the chairperson of the Provincial House. I also greet Inkosi yesizwe, Inkosi Uchiliza Madungeni, a member of the National House of Traditional and Khoisan leaders. I greet the South African Communist Party, our reliable ally in the struggle for transformation, led by Comrade James Ngumalo. We greet the Congress of South African Trade Union, led by the chairperson, Comrade Mthombeni, and the secretary, Comrade Ukabazela. We extend our greetings to the ANC Women's League, led by Comrade Nonhlanhla Kabela, and all members of the Women's League. Malbongwe! I also greet the ANC Youth League, led by Comrade Dr. Sanele Mbambo, the ANC Veterans League, led by Umama Unobhala, Utriza, Uteresa Mthembu. We are all here, comrades, veterans, and as members of the ANC, we look on you
And one day we so wish also to wear that green blouse enilgqokayo. Alqokwa inoma ubani, but labo abakhethiweyo. We extend our greetings to MKMVA, the ex-combatant of our glorious Liberation Army, Umkhonto wesizwe, led by Comrade Unobhala Ulinda Mboto. Fellow comrades, we gather here today as the Provincial Conference of the ANC. We assemble at this ANC KwaZulu-Natal 9th Provincial Conference to undertake the assessment on the task we have made since we met at the 8th Provincial Conference of KwaZulu-Natal. With us, comrades, should ensure that this conference resembles and resonates with the values and the character of the ANC as a liberation movement. It is thus inherent and crucial that we remind ourselves that we are here on behalf of the ANC in totality. This is the highest organ of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal. This conference resembles the objectives of the ANC at its formative stages and during its 110 years of evolution. The conference should bring hope and inspiration to the current generation of the membership of the ANC. It should be seized with tasks that are affecting the people of our country and our province in particular. Comrades, the historic mission of existence of the ANC was to unite the people of South Africa, in particular the oppressed, and lead them in the quest for freedom. Even at this juncture, nanamuhla, i-primary mission yokuphila kwethu njenge-ANC ukuhlanganisa abantu babe munye sibalide emzabalazweni wokwenza ngcono izimpilo zabo. As we gather here today, our country has observed the 50th anniversary of the passing on of Chief Albert Luthuli. But we meet here just 4 days before the people of Cuba commemorate the 26th July movement, which was led by El Commandant Fidel Castro in the defeat of the oppressive bourgeoisie and the puppet regime of Batista. In this regard, we honor the Cuban Revolution. We remember Castro sending a warning to us as a revolution, and he said, a revolution is not a bed. It's not a bed of roses. A revolution is a struggle between the future and the past. Close quote. We salute all Cubans internationalists who have lost limb and life at the Battle of Cuito Cunoval and defeat the mighty apartheid army leading to the liberation of the people of the then Southwest Africa, which is now Namibia. We still say today, Cuban people, loving nation, here we are. We shall love you. We shall need you for the things you have done to us. At the end of this month, on the 30th of July, we will commemorate the birthday of Umtomdala, Themba Hirikwala, who would have turned 102 years. As we meet, let us remember the teachings of Hirikwala, who said in 1992 that at all material times we should defend the revolution and avoid political expediency and short-termism. Herikwala, responding to one article by Slovo, Herikwala said, as I quote, "In our country, we have two primary forces: the ruling class that controls the means of production, state apparatus, and the instruments that conditions people's mind. In our country, it is the white community that enjoy this monopoly. But on the other hand, there is a vast majority of our people who are oppressed, exploited, and discriminated against. This is known as white domination. It dates back from the era of colonization and culminated in what came to be known as apartheid. These constitute the primary contradictions in this country and gives rise to suspicion of both sides." Herikwala continues to say, "We must start from clearly drawn bottom lines. The bottom line of the oppressed African masses is the liberation of the African people. The bottom line of the ruling class is to retain monopoly of the country's wealth and coerce state machinery which would safeguard this wealth. Hence the so-called protection of minority rights. Any compromises must be seen in this light," close quote. Comrades, as the ANC were guided by the Freedom Charter and the resolutions of our 54th National Conference, the ANC in government has been mindful to follow in the great footsteps of visionary men and women who lit the flame of freedom and pass it on to our generation for the fulfillment and the aspirations enshrined in the Freedom Charter. It is our common conviction that whilst the 1994 democratic breakthrough marked a fundamental leap forward toward liberation, it does not constitute total liberation. And as such, the ANC in 2012 National Conference resolved that the National Democratic Revolution was entering into the second phase of transition, which should be characterized by radical socio-economic transformation. It remains significant that we share a common understanding and conviction on why the ANC exists. The ANC does not exist for us who are here. It does not exist for its leaders. Its leaders will come and go, but the ANC exists for the people of South Africa. As the current crop of cadres and leaders, we must always understand that ours is to serve and serve the people. Embedded to the ANC's vision of existence is the recognition that the ANC live as an effective and an impactful organization. It must organize. It must ensure that there are members who embody the strategic objectives of the revolution. With this in mind, we must first appreciate that there shall be no revolution without an organization. Without an organization steeped in revolutionary theory and revolutionary practice. But secondly, we should recognize that unity of the people and that of the ANC itself constitute a strategic tool to advance the revolution. Without unity, there could be no coherent organization or proper execution of the revolution. Unity enables the organization to work as one united and coherent bloc in the advancement of the revolution. In KwaZulu-Natal, in what used to be called Midland, at one time there was a comrade called Isaiah Nchangase, Prophet. I know that Comrade Malus Gigaba will remember him well. Isaiah would say, thina sikhona la sasingazani, sasingakaze sibe yihlobo, futhi sasingebona abangani, safikana la emzabalazweni, and therefore ubungani nokuzwana kwethu akungabi ngaphezu kweinhloso zomzabalazo. While organizing to build the organization and keep it united, we must always understand the revolution should be executed. It must be implemented. There should be practical steps reflecting progress toward the fulfillment of the objectives of the revolution. Thus, we must distinguish ourselves from philosophers whose task is to interpret the existing conditions. Ours is to interpret but further transform the existing conditions for the betterment of human conditions. Comrades, we're gathered here under the theme Unity, Renewal, and Deepening. Unity and renewal to serve the people of KwaZulu-Natal. The PEC adopted this theme as a conscious appeal to all delegates to appreciate that the ANC exists to serve the people. And this conference is in essence about the people of KwaZulu-Natal, which both the ANC and its government serves. So, in all that we commit or omit, we should not disappoint the people of KwaZulu-Natal. Throughout this conference, our conduct should display a high level of revolutionary consciousness, discipline, comradeship, and responsiveness to the needs of the people on whose behalf we have been called to serve. Comrades, we're meeting here guided by the outcomes of the last provincial and national conferences. The ultimate objective of the NDR is the creation of a united, non-racial, non-sexist, democratic and prosperous society. For us as the liberation movement, the attainment of these elements and goals will ultimately mark the foundation of a national democratic society. As we gather here, we are therefore called upon to undertake a thorough assessment on the progress the organization has recorded in the execution of the strategic task we adopted at the 54th National Conference, which are mainly unity, renewal, and radical socio-economic transformation. These tasks are all equally important and require the same vigor and commitment on implementation. I want to underline the ANC Nazareth Conference miphela sonke saphuma namatask amathathu: unity, renewal, and socio-radical economic transformation. Uma siphuma nalama task, ayikho task esathi ibaluleke kakhulu kunenye itask. Sathi onke lama task amathathu abalulekile kulesi sikhathi esikuso. The NEC was mandated to lead the process of renewal as part of uprooting tendencies and weaknesses that have corroded the moral fiber and values of the ANC as a revolutionary movement. In this regard, the 54th National Conference stated that the organizational renewal is an absolute and urgent priority. It said, at the heart of the survival of the ANC is this renewal. ANC members are expected to work tirelessly for renewal of our organization and to build unity across all structures. The conference at Nazareth resolved that renewal should entail cadre development, sustained political education to drive a sustainable and deliberate process of organizational renewal. The NEC was mandated to invest in political development of cadres and members who are orientated and trained in the values and policies to improve their capacities to be the agent for change wherever they are assigned. Renewal had to be accompanied by intensified training on political communication as a tool of political education of ANC structures. The conference further resolved that ANC members must do the membership induction courses during the probation to be trained in what the ANC stands for. The conference further said, ANC leaders deployed in government must go through compulsory, regular and ongoing development. Renewal also meant that our branches must respond to the needs and interests of the communities and mobilize them to form partnership for development and transformation. So the renewal called for us to go back to street committees, to organs of civil society, and work together with the people. Many efforts have been invested in ensuring that organizational renewal is achieved. But we can say, not with any doubt, that little have been yielded in this regard. The ANC NEC has recently agreed that the ANC need to embark on a decade-long organizational renewal program which should start now from 2022 to 2030, and this will form part of the discussions at the national conference. The NEC has been grappling with the issue of fighting corruption and restore the integrity of the movement. In this regard, the NEC adopted the framework to deal with the issue of comrades who are facing criminal charges and resolved that such comrades should step aside as per the conference resolution. While this decision is part of renewal, the program and the approach to renewal should be holistic. What has compounded the problem on the implementation of this decision is that the NEC resolved on a step aside. Down in the line, it then resolved that those who are charged must not stand for positions. And this does not constitute the renewal that we are talking about. When we talk about renewal, we should be holistic, talk about political education, talk about everything. And therefore, we should discuss this issue when we go to the policy conference. As we advance to the policy conference, we must ensure that we debate renewal program to focus on the following issues that we once unpacked during the January 8 celebration. Firstly, we must intensify an ongoing compulsory political education. At all levels, we must ensure that we imbue the best values of the organization. The second task on renewal should be the membership renewal of the ANC. Organizational renewal should result in the rejuvenation of the membership character of the ANC. Members of the ANC should be outstanding activists who always serves the people. Renewal of the revolutionary character of the ANC remains important. The renewal of the ANC should focus on resetting the character of the ANC. Renewal of the character should ensure that the ANC become unapologetic, that it stands to advance the interest of the motive forces of the revolution. I want to go back to the strategy and tactics, where the strategy and tactics says, black workers, employed and unemployed, urban and rural, remains the main motive force of the process of change. This is not an assertion of an ideological preference, but a reflection of a social reality. Because of their position in the economy and other social endeavors, the masses of the workers make society tick. In the mines, the factories, the banks, state-owned enterprises, courts, public and private security agencies, government department, parliament, private homes, and so on, they carry the burden of society. They have, over the years, developed a keen sense of their aspiration and those of the broader society, and have organized and mobilized for a thorough-going change, close quote. And therefore, comrades, we must be clear that the ANC represent the poor. At all times, we must stand with the poor. Where we speak, we cannot be confused whether we represent the bourgeois class or we represent the ordinary masses of South Africa. The ANC represent the interest of the masses of our country. The ANC 54th National Conference also resolved that we should spearhead the implementation of the radical socio-economic transformation program. The conference adopted a garland of resolutions aimed at fast-tracking economic transformation. However, we should take stock of whether we are achieving on that. Where we stand as the PEC, very little has been achieved in this regard. We must ask ourselves why we have failed to lead the program of expropriation of land with no compensation. We must ask ourselves whether we do have a dedicated focus on reindustrialization in South Africa. We must ask on whether we have effected banning of exportation of raw material in specific commodities for expansion of manufacturing in the country. We must ask whether we have succeeded in the establishment of a state bank and the transformation of the South African Reserve Bank to be under the control of the people and the state. These are few of radical economic transformation policies that we adopted. We must ask, how far have we gone in this regard? The conference also resolved that there is a need to unbundle monopolies to open space for small, micro, and medium enterprises. But the policy framework, in particular the public procurement, remains stringent in favor of monopolies. It is thus unfortunate that during the period under review, we have also witnessed the reversal through courts of several progressive policies that were meant to enhance transformation. These include BEE framework on mining, where court ruled that once a company is said to have been transformed, it shall always be regarded as transformed. Secondly, the reversals of the 2017 public procurement regulations. Thirdly, the consistent failure by national government to review the public procurement to be in favor of SMMEs. These tasks should constitute our more and serious attention as we go to the policy conference. We do so because the revolution should be a process and a progress. It should not be stagnant. It should not be like we are in offices but not knowing where we should go. I heard some comrades speaking yesterday. Some are saying the country is in an autopilot. Some are saying we don't know what should happen. Our conviction is that there are resolutions of the ANC that are clear, but those that are in offices are not implementing those resolutions, and those are people who should be held accountable for that. Comrades, the 8th Provincial Conference of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, held in July 2018, resolved that the Provincial Executive Committee should engage on a program to unite the organization. The program has conducted a number of programs. The PEC has conducted a number of programs that demonstrate greater cohesion and participation of members. The PEC deliberately embarked on a program to bring back comrades who contested as independents in 2016 local government elections. And I think that is one decisive leadership that this PEC did, to say whether in 2016 ubunga pandle noma ubunga phakathi, come into the ANC and let us work together. Unity is sacrosanct. Besides derailment caused by COVID-19, we have rebuilt many organizational structures and convened successful regional conferences in all regions. We have contested 2019 local elections and the local government elections, and we have ensured that we reach in all regions so that we mobilize people to vote for the ANC. Comrades, at a global level, in a socio-economic situation or system, in fact, in any socio-economic system, the ruling class holds sway and determines what prevails in the public domain, as guided by the strategy and tactics of the movement. As the ANC, we have been consistent that in the strategy and tactics, our transition to democracy is taking place in a world in which the system of capitalism enjoys dominant sway over virtually the entire globe. But it is also a world in which the agenda of the working class and the developing nation can find creative expression in pursuit of human, just, and equitable world order. In 2017 strategy and tactic, we said, selfish geopolitical pursuit and rise of security industrial complex threatens to worsen global tension and plunge the world into a devastating inferno. The ANC continues to sound an alarm against poverty, unemployment, and rising inequality at a global level. At the beginning of the global pandemic of COVID-19, mandla awethu uma siqala sibhekana ne-COVID-19, we thought sonke sizoba nalo ilungelo lokuthola i-vaccine, but abanye ngoba benamandla amakhulu imali bagcina bezi provider bona for themselves than ukubhekelela bonke abantu. Neoliberalism is on the rise and it undermines the economic growth in the global world. It also puts the role of the state at the periphery of economic activity. The global neoliberal agenda that is on the rise determine or present the right-wing tendencies. We also are witnessing the undermining of multilateral cooperation and sovereignty of states. The US in particular continues to behave like the policeman of the world. With NATO and its Western allies, the US stand accused of causing havoc and destruction with its agenda of regime change and undermining the territorial integrity of countries such as Libya, Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, and former Yugoslavia. The rise of China as a global economic power has given rise to hostility between the West and the East, more so during the time of Donald Trump. The outbreak of the war between the Russian Federation and Ukraine has unleashed a volatile and unstable future for the world. As you will recall, at the heart of this conflict are Russia's security concerns with Ukraine's intention to join NATO. The effect of the war in Ukraine is felt in South Africa, Africa, and across the world with the rise of petrol, food, and energy. And we believe the ANC and South Africa have taken a correct stand that we should advance multilateralism and engagement to solve the problems that affect Ukraine and Russia. We are also of a firm view that we should steer the ship and ensure that South Africa's participation in BRICS remain intact to alter the global balance of power in favor of the developing world. BRICS look distinct to grow as it has received new applications from Iran and Argentina. We further learn that countries such as Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Turkey have also indicated their interest of joining the BRICS. And therefore, we should ensure that our participation in BRICS is strengthened and reaffirmed. South Africa should also continue to support regional integration and promote intra-Africa trade. The launch of the Africa Free Trade Area remains a milestone achievement toward an estimated 50 trillion rand market in the intra-Africa trade. The ANC continue to support the silencing of the guns on our continent and reduce conflict. The quest for peace and prosperous Africa is in our own interest as the country and the province. And I think in that regard, we should continue to applaud Mama Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma for the sterling work she did in the AU. Hence, we still have the Agenda 2063. Like Libya, Chad, Central African Republic, the DRC, Sudan, Ethiopia, Mozambique are faced with a number of conflicts. And we should ensure that Africa as a whole becomes stable for its growth. KwaZulu-Natal also borders with Lesotho, Eswatini, and Mozambique, and we've seen some of these instabilities in Swaziland and in Mozambique. And for that matter, as the ANC, we stand and support the liberation of the people of Eswatini to self-determine themselves and be able to elect government. Democracy must prevail all over. With regard to the domestic balance of forces, we recognize that South Africa's attainment of freedom in 1994 was a fundamental shift in terms of balance of forces. And despite the challenges, the ANC has resiliently and worked hard to remain the vanguard of the National Democratic Revolution. Since 1994, we've made meaningful progress in changing the lives of all South Africans for the better in terms of access to basic needs. Remarkable changes have taken place on such fronts such as free education, health services, water and sanitation, as well as the pursuit for gender equality. And it is on that basis that we join the student in tertiary institutions that we should continue to applaud Comrade Jacob Zuma for declaring free education in South Africa. Comrades, we should not be overwhelmed by what the neoliberal agenda pursued. They are pursuing a narrative that seeks to suggest that the ANC has done nothing. They don't want us to talk about houses that we have delivered. They don't want to talk about health, about free education. Nezinto eziningi. What we must be preoccupied, ukuthi ANC ayenzi lutho. We must refuse to be coerced to that agenda. It is the deep levels of inequality, rising unemployment, poverty, and poor service delivery that have also undermined the hegemony of the ANC and its legitimacy. And I want to dwell on this point, comrades. Some comrades will want to say, no, the primary challenge we have that make us lose hegemony is corruption. No, corruption is wrong. We must deal with corruption. But things that have cost the ANC the support, it's unemployment, it is poverty, it is lack of service delivery. And those are things. Yes, people will be happy if we fight corruption, but they could still stay at home and not go to vote if they are disillusioned. The primary task of the revolution today should be to address poverty, unemployment, and basic services. Abantu badinga amanzi, badinga ukuthi kube clean emalokishini. Abantu badinga imisebenzi. Uma ufika uthi wenza u-door to door bazokutshela ukuthi namba abantwana baqedile abanye baqede kuma universities abanamsebenzi. Uma uthi hayi siyalwa ne-corruption, but okay fine, but inkinga yethu enkulu yila bantwana abangasebenzi. And therefore we must attend to these fundamental threats of the revolution. Comrades, we should pay attention to issues that affected the movement during the local government elections. It is clear from the results of the local government elections that the ANC does not own voters. We must be at one on that. Abantu, asingasho ukuthi abantu bethu. Abantu bangabantu basivotela ngemisebenzi esiyenzayo. And therefore, we should ensure that we restore the character of the ANC, the broad appeal and the ability to mobilize the citizens. The reasons for the loss of support in South Africa, especially in KwaZulu-Natal, was caused by the depressed national mood due to COVID-19, distressed economy, unemployment, increase in poverty, the arrest of former President Zuma, the July unrest, distrust of the ANC-led government, lack of service delivery, corruption allegations, conflict among ANC members. Those are issues that affected us as the movement in the local government elections. While the movement still enjoys the majority in the most of the municipalities, the confidence in the ANC as a leader of the society has drastically declined. These performances reflect the declining level of trust and the credibility of the ANC, its activists and leaders. The defense and consolidation of our democratic gains must therefore be anchored on organizational integrity, improving service delivery, and winning the battle of ideas. The 2021 local government elections saw the massive proliferation of small parties and independent candidates. The elections were contested by not less than 303 325 parties with more than 1,500 independent candidates. While correct, it is correct to note that number of ANC people who are in ANC stronghold didn't go out to vote. We should be concerned that the IFP made inroads and won some wards and municipalities from the ANC. One of the things that have cost the ANC is that of the disbandment of the ANC Youth League. The disbandment of the ANC Youth League and failure to revive it on time has left the ANC with no mobilization organ that focus in the youth. The local government elections also took place in the context where the unifier of AmaZulu nation, King Goodwill KwaZulu-Natal, and his beloved queen, the regent queen, passed away. And that on its own created some tensions and instability in the royal house. And the ANC has resolved that it should not be passive on such issues. Among others, the ANC must be also effective. Iqinisekise ukuthi ANC bayingxenye yokunite abantu futhi bonakale emasontweni, masonto amakhulu KwaZulu-Natal, i-ANC ibe ingxenye yayo. As a leader of the society, we should lead all sectors. Comrades, this political report is detailed enough with an energy to present it as we used to do for close to 2 hours, comrade. But we will take an approach of not presenting page by page with the hope that comrades in commissions and at home will get time to read it. So in the interest of time, the ANC achievement in government have been enormous. If you consider the framework we adopted as the ANC in 1992 was the ready to govern. And that framework has always been a blueprint that defines what we must do as the ANC in government. In that framework we said, South Africa has never had good government for all. Government has until now always been used to harass, divide, and humiliate the greater majority of South Africans, while securing privilege and relative high standard of service for the minority. We can count today the 6th administration, count among others the Freedom Charter, the Ready to Govern, the NDP Vision 2030 as the framework that were put in place. Among others, the government had to grapple with COVID-19 pandemic. Guided by the Provincial Growth and Development Strategy, we have put in place 9 interventions that we need to focus on. But the prevalence of the COVID-19 required that we adjust and focus in the fight against COVID-19. The work of KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Coronavirus Command Council enhanced coordination and collaboration with various sectors, departments, and agencies, especially when the impact was high during the peak of the first and the second wave. We managed to run a number of campaigns to create awareness about COVID-19. We also encourage people to vaccinate. We take this opportunity to salute especially all workers who are part of essential workers, unions, researchers, doctors, the police, nurses, and all of those who were in front of the war against COVID-19. Equally, the ANC, when the allegations of corruption around PPE emerged, the ANC acted with speed and intervened and dealt with such. As a result, we have seen a number of companies and officials being prosecuted for that. We have also witnessed a painful period where some of our leaders passed on. The first was the untimely passing of His Majesty King Goodwill Zwelithini. The second was that of Queen Regent Mantombi Dlamini Zulu. We also suffered as the ANC the loss of our MEC, Comrade Bheki Ntuli, the MPL, Comrade Ricardo Mthembu, but this was adding to the pain we suffered when we lost Comrade Mluleki Ndobe. We cannot also forget to mention that we also lost the mayor of the then mayor of King Cetshwayo, Comrade Nonhle. One of the painful incidents that we saw in 2021 was that of the arrest of former President Zuma, which followed a ruling by the Constitutional Court. We were deeply pained by this decision of the court. The sentence was harsh for our beloved elderly statesman, and we noted that the sentence imposed deviated from the established prescript, where President Zuma was given 15 months, not even the 6-month prescribed in the Commissions Act. We also suffered the 2021 July unrest, which affected Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal. Almost 80 shopping malls were destroyed, putting 150,000 jobs at risk. Over 2,000 retail stores were damaged and looted. Nationally, the cost that was suffered was around 50 billion and 30 billion in KwaZulu-Natal. But we cannot also forget that the July unrest saw something painful, which was in a form of the Phoenix massacre, where a number of people were butchered and killed with no reasons. And we are hoping that at the end, the law will take its course. Comrades, part of what our government had to deal with has been to respond to the April and May 2022 floods. KwaZulu-Natal, as it was picking pieces after July 2021 unrest, we found ourselves facing another catastrophic impact in a form of April and May 2021 floods. Heavy flood resulted in the loss of life. And today, as we are here, we can report that 461 people lost their lives, and a number of families are still looking for their missing loved ones to find a closure. This is a painful experience that some of the families are still living with. We want to thank the civil society, including churches, NGOs, private sector, and other countries and global institutions that extended a helping hand during this time. Comrades, I cannot speak more about the declining economy, which has given rise in the interest rates, dampening the consumer spending, electricity constraint, rising prices of necessities such as food and fuel, rising cost of production as a result of increasing fuel, distorted global supply chain. It is the task of this conference to emerge with a practical solution on how we turn around the situation and address these economic challenges. Among others, comrades, we need to ensure that we create jobs for the people of the country. And the KwaZulu-Natal government have put in place a number of interventions through the program that is called Economic Recovery and Transformation Plan to stimulate economic growth and ensure job creation. These are around the following pillars: reindustrialization of the province, intensify investment drive, support township and rural economy through Operation Vula, bulk buying, RASET, the Youth Fund, a number of other interventions. We've taken a view that we must expedite the Cattle Ridge Corridor as well as the N3 multi-billion upgrade. We have encouraged our municipalities to work hard on alternative energy. We will be rolling out the broadband to achieve universal access by 2024. We are moving ahead with the establishment of the clothing and textile in KwaZulu-Natal that will be located at SACP. We're focusing on infrastructure development to ensure that we stimulate the economy. We've created the war room on jobs to ensure that government has a dedicated intervention that seeks to create jobs for the people. We've embarked on radical socio-economic transformation as a program of the ANC government. And when we say the program of radical economic transformation is a program of the ANC, it should be implemented by all government structures where the ANC is in charge. Through Operation Vula, government of KwaZulu-Natal continues to support localization. We've been able to support number of SMMEs as we've managed to provide funding to at least 755 SMMEs to the tune of 222 million. We've increased the KZN Youth Fund, which we initiated through the seed funding of 50 million, and today it is 100 million. We continue to ensure that public procurement is reviewed to be in favor of the Africans and blacks in general. Our target is that 30% of public procurement must go to youth and women, 10% to military veterans, and 5% for disabled people. We continue to support the agriculture production through radical agrarian socio-economic transformation. And this program has created support to 600 small-scale farmers, majority of whom are women. The female farmers are assisted with access to production as well as market, and they have realized a production value that is more than 34 million. We have packaged the township and rural economic revitalization strategy to ensure that we address red tape, ensure the growth of informal economy, agriculture, creative industry, digital innovation, property development, infrastructure in rural areas. We've continued to support the Black Industrialist Program. As of today, 35 KZN-based black industrialists have benefited to the tune of 700 million grant as part of this. We continue to focus on pharmaceutical, pulp and paper, chemical, clothing and textile as key in supporting the rural and township economy. We have paid a dedicated focus on the provision of water, though we have not realized envisaged outcomes. In this regard, we developed a master plan and we are continuing to support areas that are hard hit with water scarcity, such as Ugu, Utugela, Umkhanyakude, Zululand, King Ejwayo, and Amaju. We continue to ensure provision of electricity, and KwaZulu-Natal now stands at 89% on the provision of electricity. And we are continuing to say, let the municipalities develop innovative ways to generate electricity. We want to underscore that the provision of houses has reached 88.55% in KwaZulu-Natal, and in the past 2 years, we have focused especially in rural areas. We continue to implement the district development model to realize one plan, one budget program. At the heart of the work of the state is building a capable developmental state as per the resolutions of our last conference. We need to build a meritocratic state machinery which is ensuring that we fight incompetency, ill discipline, lack of accountability, and poor consequence management. We should ensure that these are not tolerated. As part of building a capable state, the provincial administration embark on skills audit to assess the skills we have and the skills gap in the provincial government. We are also working hard to ensure that we train public servants as we have finalized the MOU with the National School of Governance. We are working hard on the issue of peace and stability as the provincial government resolved that building peaceful societies is key to the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal. The government has embarked on a number of programs aimed at fighting crime and violence. Mandla! I'm sure sonke my comrades, izinto esiyibona zenzeka emalokishini la kudutshulwa khona abantu beyihlalela abanye kodwa kwezinye indawo ubone ukuthi izimpi zokuthi kubangwa indaba zama drugs sonke kumele sibe consent ngalokho. Uhulumeni waKwaZulu-Natal has been working on stabilizing management, law enforcement, and we have embarked on ensuring that we audit all dockets time and again. We are working hard to ensure that we fight border crime, especially where we link Inokhamba Nyawo and Mozambique. We should continue to deal with the issue of alcohol, drugs, and undocumented foreign nationals, as these are critical because they generate crime in the province. Comrades, with regard to the fight against corruption, we are working hard to ensure that we intensify the fight through ensuring that all allegations are investigated. We are also ensuring the implementation of all reports, from forensic report to AG's report. We must also ensure that we are at one on this issue. All municipalities, whether under the ANC leadership or not, we should ensure that AG's recommendations are implemented with no fear or favor. We need to work hard to ensure that the issue of land is finalized. The adoption of Pluma provides a framework for spatial planning and use management, and provide a guide on how to ensure development of townships and rural areas as well. We need to ensure that we move ahead also with the issue of expropriation of land to ensure that land is given to the well-deserving people in the country. Comrades, as we move toward conclusion, the revolution is about people, and when the people are demobilized, disengaged, and frustrated, the revolution will be derailed. Over the past years, the ANC ascended to power. There is a rise of both objective and subjective factors that conspire to derail the revolution. Notwithstanding progress registered in changing the lives of the people for the better, we must always remember that freedom is a recognition of necessity. This means that a person or a household may have already benefited something, such as an RDP house, but they will not be satisfied. They will need more they will need road, they will need education, schools nearby. The scarcity of resources is a constraint in this regard. We must therefore act with urgency and everything in our capacity to grow our resource base. The recent elections resulted in one municipality governed by the DA, and that should cause worry to us as the ANC. Results of that are now being seen where services are beginning to be terminated to people in townships. In the January 8, we said to lead in social compact will require that we mobilize all partners to work together. We should therefore work together to fight unemployment and poverty. Comrades, we should also deal with the issue of corruption. We should not see corruption as a just consequence of evil, but as a byproduct of a pivoted value system brought by capitalism. This point is underscored in the African Communist of 1991 that is titled Corridors of Corruption, which says, the characteristic corruption of capitalism, for example, is related, understandable enough to money. The whole motivation of capitalist system is the accumulation of private wealth by exploiting the labor of others. Status and privilege accrue to those who accumulate most. Personal enrichment with small regard to the interest of the rest of society is both acceptable and admired. Such a society is thus a hothouse for breeding a financial corruption which seep through the stock exchange, the multinational corporation, the political parties, administration, and in every center of power, close quote. And therefore, one will borrow from Aubrey Mashike, who said the inconsistencies in defining and understanding corruption make the fight against corruption nothing but a fight of angels with horns and devils with hallows. Comrades, as we move to the national conference, we need to engage on policies of the ANC and ensure that we undertake a clear assessment on the work we've done since 1994. In its rich history of 110 years, the ANC has had its ebbs and flows, but it has always risen to the occasion. How the ANC has survived challenges, it is not because it is ordained to survive, but this is as a result of a combination of action by men and women who were solely devoted to the well-being and the service of the people. These are men and women, young and old, urban and rural, who had the capacity to mobilize people and different sectors of society to act as their own liberators around a common vision of a better society for all. The movement had within its ranks a cadreship and a leadership that remained loyal to the interest of the people and always willing to rectify mistakes in order to strengthen the movement. The movement was populated by men and women who were steadfast on principles and not resorting to political expediency when dealing with complex matters. As we face the existential crisis of the ANC, we need to borrow from them and reassert the virtues that have kept the ANC in existence for more than a century. We must work to ensure that the membership of the ANC is only given to those who make a lifetime commitment to the cause of the people. Our recruitment strategies must ensure that potential members understand and commit in action and in the objectives of the ANC. The recruitment strategy should also enable the ANC to attract the best caliber of people who will add value in the work of the ANC. Beyond membership subscription, the life of ANC members or membership should be a life of continuous development, self-cultivation. We need to strengthen and massify political education. We must engender solution-oriented activism of our membership and leaders. The primary responsibility of the branch of the ANC is to serve the people. And therefore, ukuba ne branch ANC, ephilela i-regional, ne-provincial conference is not enough. We should have branches of the ANC that serve the people. Our structures must grow and address all challenges. They must also grow the influence and hegemony of the ANC in all sectors of the society. The ANC must also urgently attend to the question of caliber, attitude, and posture of its leadership at all levels. Historically, the ANC has always been accepted that leadership of the ANC must reflect the aspiration of the motive forces, particularly the working class and the poor. Because of unintended consequences of power, increasingly, the prestige of being an ANC leader is replaced by the price tag. The richer the pocket of an individual, the more likely the person will become a leader of the ANC. Leadership is gradually no longer earned in the crucible of struggle, but it depends on dispensation of patronage. Amathuluzi okusebenza. Sabu ya politika. Usabu khuluma nge-strategy and tactic. Uthi ukhuluma nge-strategy and tactics kuthiwa hayi comrades siyakuzwa. Uyayichana le matter ye-strategy and tactics mana kancane kodwa apha amathuluzi okusebenza. Is that the ANC we want? One comrades in the early 90s, ngekhathi enzima used to say, strategy and tactics umabambezela, athi Thambo nginika ibhazuka ngilwelele lizwe. That was a commitment of Umkhonto, but the commissars of Umkhonto will say, no, okwakha kona uba nebhazuka ulwelele lizwe. You must first understand the essence of a revolution. And it can't be that the leader of the ANC is the one who has a large pocket and therefore is able to provide amathuluzi okusebenza. No, that is un-ANC. Comrades, the leadership of the ANC that the people deserve is a leadership that will find within and grow with the people. In this context, we must heed the call made by Che Guevara in his article, Man and Socialism in Cuba. Che Guevara said, our children, particularly the children of leadership, must have or lack what the children of ordinary citizens have or lack. If a man thinks that in order to devote his entire life to the revolution, he cannot be detracted by the worry that one of his children lack a certain article, that the children's shoes are in poor condition, that the family lacks some necessary items. With this reasoning, the seed of future corruption are allowed to filter through, close quotes. Amandla. The problem that has affected the ANC is that of the ANC that look for itself. Abantu abami bazofunda e-Model C. Abama ordinary people bafunde kwi-ordinary school. And this is what undermined the cohesion. And what Comrade Chekovara said, asifundisa kona, ukuthi kudinga siphile lempilo yabantu abayiphilayo. Uma abantu beneyinkinga esikoleni, kufile nawe lokho, usuprovide isolution. Comrades, this 9th Provincial Conference of the ANC in this beautiful province is both about the life of the ANC and the people's aspiration for the better life for all. As we gather here, millions of people in the whole country and in KwaZulu-Natal in particular have high expectations that as we rise at the end of this conference, we will rise with an ANC genuinely committed to renew itself so that once again it will become and remain a potent tool in the hand of people to build a South Africa of their dream. They are expecting that decisions that will be taken and the leadership collective that will be elected by this conference will not only reflect our aspiration as individuals and members here, but those of the members of the ANC and the people. We owe this to the legacy of the pathfinders of our revolution. We owe this to Dorothy Nyembe, Lillian Ngoyi, Victoria Mxenge, Pila Portia Ndwandwe. We owe it to Mama Winnie Mandela, Albertina Sisulu. We owe this to Mama Nokhamba Nyawo, General Kizenga. We owe this commitment to Moses Mapita, to nobleman Nzala Nxumalo. We owe it to Anton Lembede, Harry Kwala, Solomon Mahlangu. We owe this to Tolomani Mnyayiza. At this conference, we must refuse to fight one another and divide the ANC in the name of our leader, Comrade Jacob Zuma. We must always honor him as a peacemaker, a disciplined cadre of our movement, a leader who always warned us not to use names of leaders to divide the organization. Let us also return to the words of Oliver Tambo when he came back from exile, where he said, I have devotedly watched over the organization over all these years. I now hand it back to you, bigger, strong, intact. Guide our precious movement. We have survived these many decades of ruthless persecution because not once did we lose sight of the necessity of defending unity of the movement. We can win our freedom by fostering maximum unity among ourselves, close quote. The ANC must rise out of this conference, must be a united ANC that will be the loyal servant of the people. It must be a united ANC, for without unity, it cannot succeed to unite people. It cannot lead the NDR in favor of blacks in general and Africans in particular. To the entire PEC collective that we have served together since 2018, allow me to pay a special tribute to all of you. Comrades Bundebele used to say, umunikwe ukulead the organization, umukwaze ukuyibuyisa nje isephila, kumele ubongwe. Kodwa umuyibuyisile nje isinomuntu oyedwa ngaphezulu, kumele kuhalaliswe. And therefore, this entire PEC have brought back the organization to the membership of the movement. We pay our respect to all members of this PEC and to all delegates attending. We dare not linger in fulfilling the aspiration of our people. We wish the conference fruitful deliberation, and the ANC lives, ANC leads. Yindele ndlela esihambayo ifuna abalungileyo. Long live Oliver Tambo, long live. Amandla.
Amandla! Long live the ANC, long live. Comrades, let's welcome the political report of the Provincial Executive Committee. Thank you very much, comrades, and thank you very much to the provincial chairperson. Hongoba indele ndlela, hongoba indele ndlela, hongoba indele ndlela, awuyindele ndlela, ifuna ifuna balungile awungoba indele ndlela awungoba abalungileyo ongoba indele ndlela angoba indele ndlela ongoba indele ndlela ongoba indele ndlela ifuna abalungileyo ifuna abalungile bayindele ndlela ongoba indele ndlela ongoba indele ndlela ongoba indele ndlela ifuna abalungileyo ifuna abalungileyo Amandla from Cape to Cairo Morocco to Madagascar from Cape to Cairo, Morocco to Madagascar, Ayania Zania, Israel, Solipata, freedom.
freedom charter. Awuyona Tanzania izwe lethu. Soliphatha nge-freedom charter. Awuyona Tanzania, 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 Tanzania. Awuyeki Tanzania, 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 Tanzania. From Cape to Cairo, Morocco to Madagascar. From Cape to Cairo, Morocco to Madagascar. Oh yeah, me Tanzania. Tanzania, Tanzania, Tanzania. Oh yeah, me Tanzania, 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 Tanzania.
Amandla, comrades. Ukhona ucomrade la othe kade eya ebathroom waseshiya khona iID yakhe. Lo comrade loyo ubeye ebathroom yabantu besimame. Kusho ukuthi nawe umuntu wesimame. Ngoba le ID itholakala ebathroom yabantu besimame kodwa ayitholwanga yimina. Nami ngilethelwe yona la. So ngizocela ku comrade esazayilandi kubhaliwe ukuthi ucomrade uGontsana. Comrade Gontsana. Nginayo ID yakho. Comrades, can we have an attention kancane? Into esiyenzayo manje comrades. We want to have an opportunity to attend the conference for dinner. But this is what is going to happen. Welami Washi is almost 8 o'clock, few minutes before 8. We are adjourning the conference now. Just before we confirm into adjournment, ukhombe to treasury ukusangenzela ilist ezokwazi ukuthi ngilekelela ukuexplaina ukuthi masiphuma la siya la kudliwa khona sibheka kephi. Kodwa into ezokwenzeka comrades sizothatha ibreak for an hour siye kodla. Ngalesikhathi nibreakile for an hour. So besiconvene i-steering committee siyo process ama credentials. Siyo processa na yonke into edinga attention ye steering committee. Masibuya ngo 9 o'clock. Sizo presenta i-credentials report. After si presente i-credentials report. Okay. Comrades, kuthiwa la kutholakala khona ukudla. Uma niphuma la nizobe ni-exita khona niya kule ndawo kunokudla khona la ngaphakathi kodwa. Indawo ehlukene ezu-3. So mangabe ufika la uyakhona ungathi mawusheshe wafika izibe indi queue ucabanga ukuthi usekusegcineni. Kuyiwa hall 1 istaff son director se-ANC mangabe niphuma la. Kuphinde kiwe nase hall 2 bese kiwa nase hall 3 kulapho la kuzofika kutholakala khona okuya ngasethunjini bese siya reconvene ngo 9 o'clock. Kodwa ke ngizocela ukuthi onobhala bonke bama regions. Le conference mayi adjourna iphuma beze labo naphambili. Bese kuthi onke ama comrades ama members steering committee as well as the credentials committee eze la phambili my conference yajena. Bona so bese silandelana nabo siyobonisana ukuthi umhlangano wethu uzongenela kephi. And once ama comrade credentials committee afika la siyohlangana khona, we will then proceed with our meeting. Comrades, comrades, anga kushuthi ucomrade uGonchana kuyacaca ukuthi akasekho la ngaphakathi ungaphandle ngoba manje ngibona kukhona iID yakhe la nename tag. So mekhona ngicelezela phambili. Comrades, ama veterans